like the mind we use to learn. It's where our mind chatter sits. When we sit down to meditate and we have that mind chatter that's like, oh, turn off the stove, or oh, get your daughter's clothes out for school tomorrow, or whatever, all these different thoughts that start. That is the conscious mind, and that's only 5 to 10% of our brain. Like that, it's not that much of, but that's like how we go about our day and make decisions and stuff like that. And then so you move up to which I did this. Here's my little Megan. So then you move up to the subconscious, which is 90 to 95% of your mind. Like it's pretty much you. It's like it controls your personality. It controls and holds and controls your beliefs, your patterns, habits. It controls your body functions, like digestion. It tells your body how to work. It's like the control center of your body, and then it holds your personality. And so that's why, well, hold on, let me move up. So then we move up to superconscious. So the superconscious is the higher mind, the higher self, God, soul, source, the universe. That is the infinite amount of wisdom is up at that superconscious level. So so why we do this work and why I'm explaining all this is like, because I was thinking last night, I'm like, if I didn't really understand why I'm shifting a limiting belief, I don't know if I would do it. I mean, if you don't really understand the concept, which I know you guys here do, but pretty well anyway, as far you have a pretty good grasp on it. But I know from some other people in the group, like the Facebook group, where a couple of them don't understand that, and to visually see it helps. So to know that what we're doing here, because this is literally the bridge to everything you want. Your subconscious mind is literally the bridge to making things happen. That's where you shift. That's where you unlearn stuff. And that's where your programming started. And that's where we're programmed from 0 to 7. And then that's what you kept on programming unconsciously in our teens. We were trying to be accepted and sociably awkward, right? And then we move up to the adult years. We have to apply all that stuff that we learned. I'm sorry, my hair is like bothering me, and the sun is like right here, so I'm like checking my hair. I need to not look into the video like that. So anyway, do you guys understand that? Heather, I know you work with this, so I know she does stuff with the subconscious mind. I just want to make sure that Sarah and Jessica understand that like pretty well. Jess, let me know if you're on here yet.
Yes, I'm here. I gotcha.
Okay, and you understand that as far as like why we work on the subconscious, like does that help you to see that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, awesome. I just wanted to, and then when I say higher self or God, that is the next, like we are getting closer or raising our consciousness to the superconscious, and that is when we can start hearing information. And so I wanted to read this part out of here real quick, because how you know that you're listening to your intuition or God or your higher self. Do you guys know when you've been in like, so for me, for instance, every time I get on live, pretty much it happens where I don't really know what I'm going to do. I mean, I know what I'm going to do, but then it just flows out of me and I don't really know where it comes from. Sometimes, and then like if you guys know of a challenge, you've been under pressure, or you all of a sudden had something you had to do and you actually did it and you're like, I don't know how I just did that, but I did it or whatever. That is your intuition. That is your higher self working in action. It knows what you need. You're here for a purpose. We are all here for a purpose. We all have a job to do. We're light workers, especially the people in my area, in my circle. You're a light worker. You help others shine their light brighter just by being who you are. Even if you don't think that you do, but you do. You help people feel better about themselves just naturally. And so what is the connection to the higher self and hold on a second. Let me get back here. How to connect? No. Why is it important? What happened? Okay, here we go. So what is the higher self? The higher self is us. It wants to be complete and integrated, and therefore it must help us in any way possible. The top priority of our higher self is our greatest welfare. It naturally wants to allow us to grow and arrive at whichever place we want. The higher self is the upper spiritual part of us, which is connected to the ethereal part, which the chakras are. The lower chakras are the physical, the top chakras are the spiritual chakras, and then your heart connects them. So it's all coming, like, basically, this is where spirit, we start to connect to the divine on the crown with the crown chakra. And so it says the non-physical part of the universe, it's our divine spark, and it connects the higher part with the physical part. And it's like God's translator and medium. It's the way the universe talks to us. And so it is our minds and our body cells. It helps guide and direct us to stay on the right path, compatible with our higher purpose. So when I say follow what lights you up, so when you do something that makes you excited, or I mean, like, you know, like just with interior design work, when that makes you decided or excited, and like Megan with whatever, you know, whatever makes you excited, whenever you feel that excitement, that is you following your, that's why I say follow what lights you up, and it's breadcrumbs. That's how you are led to your purpose. That's why right now, today, we're going to talk about your needs and wants as a queen. If you're letting that inner part of you out, your higher self, the needs and wants of not everyone else. That like you know, my dad wanted me to go to college. I didn't want to go to college. I followed the status quo. I do what my friends wanted to do. I didn't do what I wanted to do, you know, up until 4 years ago when I woke up. But up until that point, I did stuff so people would be happy, or, you know, my mom, like, what do you think I should do? You know, my mom says, okay, I'll do that. And like yesterday, what I said was, every time we make a decision based on someone else's opinions or thoughts, we're getting even further away from our real self. And also another way to think of it is our real self is our spirit, our soul is this body of love and light. And then we have our human identity. We have our identity that we identify with as a mom, as an HR graduate, as a medical assistant, as a photographer. You know, that's what we identify as our human self. And then our ego comes into that, and that's how we can live on earth, right? We have to have an identity. But then we start to limit ourselves with that identity, and we get further away from our real self. Does that make sense to everybody? I hope, like, does that help? Just to let you guys know where you're going, like what it is you're really doing here and where you're going and why. Because if you don't know this information and you're unconscious, until you are conscious, you don't know this information. It's not taught in school. Nobody teaches us this stuff, but it's real. and when we get closer to that real self of ours, where our ego is not telling us what, you know, don't do that or whatever, like our ego actually has a purpose, and it's actually not always a bad thing. Our ego keeps us safe on a human level, and we need that, or else we would be shit out of luck a lot of times if we didn't have something protecting us. So we do have to have that ego. And we won't get into all that tonight, but I just wanted to go over that real quick. And then I have one more slide here, and then we'll get grounded and do all that. So just to get you guys going, actually, wait a minute. Maybe I want to do this. Sorry, I thought it was the higher self. Okay, we'll do this one after we do our little, like, I just want to get grounded and centered. And so go ahead, if you have a candle or something, like light your candle, get your crystals out, or whatever you have, or incense or whatever. I just lit some of this Palo Santo, and this is just initiating the ceremony, or initiating this time to sit down and really listen to what is going on, or to pay attention to yourself. And also, when you quiet your mind, which we'll do it better here in a minute, you allow that mind chatter kind of starts to go away a little bit, and then you can retain more information. So just close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose. And then just, if you want to just go do a body scan and let go of the worries of the day and the stress and all of the chaos and running here and there, and doing something for this person and that person. And when you breathe in, so when you breathe in the next time, breathe in and hold at the top and exhale. You only just do it for a couple minutes, but do it again and hold at the top and exhale. And then you're just going down your body, just doing a quick, just tuning into your body. That's what we're doing. We're getting connected. This is us getting connected to our higher self, and it's through our body. So what do you hear right now? What do you smell? What do you feel? Feel your pants or the blanket and feel the chair underneath you. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your skin if you're cold. That's how I'm feeling right now. Like really like think of it specifically. I feel cold right now, or I feel this blanket, and just say it in your head. And then what you taste, and just get in the present moment instead of in the future. And then take another deep breath in. And then open your eyes. And then we're going to set an intention for today. And my intention is that whatever comes in through me, that it is exactly what you guys need. You guys get what you need from this session, and you walk away feeling a little lighter. That's my intention. And it's just let you guys know everything you need to know, and to talk about your needs and wants, and then get rid of expectations, because that is the number one thing that makes you guys, we'll say number two. First, first things not happening the way you want. Well, then again, it's the same thing. Expectation of getting what you want. That is the most important thing that I did, was drop my expectations. And so we'll get into that after we talk about needs. Okay. So when you are, like I just said, when you're living life for everybody else, okay, things get foggy and you forget what you like. You forget what you like to do. And I know if you haven't done something in a long time, like I didn't do photography for 2 years because I had some blocks around it, but it was part of who I was. And I was just depressed, and I just was not happy. I didn't want to be around people. And then when I started doing photography again, I cheered up. Like I have a natural, joy about me when I'm doing something that I want to do. So what's something that you guys, if you just write it down on here, of what you like anywhere, I don't even think I put it on there, but of like what you like to do, what lights you up, what's one thing that you want, or that you would like to do that is like totally out of the norm. So like one example is Sarah, who's on here. A year ago, we talked on the phone, and we went to high school together, but she's a nurse. Okay. So she's a nurse, and that's what she's done for 20 years. But deep inside, she really wants to she wants to write a blog, or she did. Now she wants to do candles, but she didn't want to tell anybody she wanted to be a blogger, because that would be weird. Right. So that's just an example of what, like, the people in your life, what they expect you to do, even if it's just to be a stay-at-home mom, and then, you want to get a job, and that's just not okay. I've heard of that before too. But when you start to do these things you want to do, people shut it down because, that's not normal. Same thing like with Megan, when she was going to come over here a couple weeks ago for the full moon, and Rob was like, it just weirded him out, because Megan doesn't do stuff like that. But she stood her ground, and she was like, I'm doing this. I love you, but I'm doing this. And so that's just an example of what can happen when you start to show up in a more authentic way, and you start listening to your soul. It's really leading a soul-led life is what's happening here. That's what we're doing. It's just whatever lights you up. So think about that and write a couple of those down, as far as what you need out of relationships, and when I was writing this, or last night, I'm like, there's nothing we need outside of ourselves. Okay. Like we're going to get to that point, but what is it in your relationships that you need, like from your husband and from your kids and from your family, from your mom, and it's overwhelming to think of all that stuff. But and like Jessica and I were she texted me last night. She's like, I don't think of this stuff until it's hard to think of it until it happens in your day. And so just don't put too much pressure on yourself to write stuff down right now. It's to get your mind going. And so you become aware of those things in your day of like, oh, I remember I used to like to do this. I need to kind of get back into this. Like my sister used to love art, and she hasn't done it for years. And it is another, like, that's also what blocks our chakras, is when we do not do anything with self-expression. So here's something to help you guys get you going. Okay. So what would it look like if you knew you couldn't fail at something? Like if you knew you were going to be successful, you were going to make $1 million at it or whatever, maybe it isn't to make money, I don't know, but that you would not fail at it. You'd be an instant success. What is one thing you would do? So what would your day look like? What would your week look like? What would your month look like? And this is when we start to get into manifesting. We're manifesting, and and this is like, when I started doing this, I'm like, but there's nothing I really want like different. I really love my life the way it is. There's nothing I really want to be different, but it's just the feeling. I didn't want to feel depressed anymore. I didn't want to feel sad sometimes. I didn't want to allow people to knock me off course during my day, and then the rest of my day went to shit just because one person pissed me off. That is what I wanted. And if that's what you want too, that's okay. It's a feeling. It's just a way of being is what I wanted. It wasn't really a tangible thing. But so I started to imagine, and I think I told you guys this, I started to set the intention every single day that I would feel good that day. Like no matter what, if David and I got into it or the kids pissed me off or something, I would go to my room and I'd meditate and I would feel better again. And then eventually, after doing that for a while and setting that intention every single day of, I'm going to feel good today. I'm going to come from love today. I'm not going to allow this. Like I was determined to not take anything for depression anymore. Since I was 15, it was like Zoloft or citalopram or whatever. And also I was struggling with addiction. That was another thing. That was another goal of like, I don't want to feel like I have to have something to feel good. I want to do this on my own. So those were my goals. And that is what I really wanted. And the thing is that when you have used substances since you're like 15, and most of your friends did, and your sister, not sister, sorry, but like family and people in your circle, when you start to not do that stuff anymore, people drop off. And it's not that like they don't want, I don't know, it's weird, but anyway, it was good. But I mean, people start backing off, then they think you're better than them and all this stuff, but it doesn't matter. So those are the things that I want you guys to really like, because you're going to, no matter if it's drugs or whatever, when you start to rise, when you start to become aware of yourself and start to level up, you're going to have people who want to see you fail. You're going to have people who want to see you not happy. And so just keep that in mind, that has nothing to do with you. And that is them. They're dealing something with them. And we'll get into more of that on Thursday, as far as like separating that, like other people's stuff that they throw at you, and when it has nothing to do with you, which today, I guess we'll kind of get into it at the end, but anyway, so remember that other people are probably going to like want to rain on your parade, but still do it, because that's why we didn't do it before. Okay. That is the reason that we didn't go forward with whatever the thing was before, because too many people were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're doing that. Or, or whatever. It's too big for around here. Just the naysayers. You're just going to have to ignore them, because it's going to happen. It's just inevitable. So look at your day, week, month, look at what you don't. So if you can't figure out something you want, okay, or it's not being clear, look at what you don't want in your life. What don't you want in your life? And that will tell you what you do want. That's what I had to do, because I really couldn't think of like, well, yeah, I want $1 million. I mean, I want money. I want to be financially stable. That's definitely something I'm working towards. But I had to work on my mindset first for that, because I was not in any way, could manifest money with my mind, what was going on then. So then flip it to the opposite. So when you figure out what you don't want in your life, I'm trying to think of an example. I don't know. We'll think of one later, but just do that and then set the goal. So number one is set the goal. So when you figure that out, you set the goal, and what is one thing you want to change, improve, or attain? One thing. We're really manifesting here. We're going to start to really like bring stuff into our existence with this, because that's what you do when you level up, is you start to live the way you want to live, and more in alignment and with joy and play and have fun. And I will say, like Jessica that's on here, her and her kids and her husband are so freaking fun. They are a fun family. And so they're a good example of like how families should be. I swear you guys are. Okay, set the goal. Yeah. And then 2, feel the feeling. This is like so important, is to feel how, so like to put yourself in, like when you get that thing or whatever you're wanting, or however you're wanting to show up in your life with confidence. So let's say you want to just have confidence. Imagine how that would feel to have confidence, and feel like, man, if I could just walk into a room and just like not care what anyone thinks, and I just go about my day, like, you know, I would love that. I mean, that's really what it is. Whenever you don't want people to knock you off course, it's confidence that you're going to stay on the course, is what it is. And so feel the feeling. How will it feel to have that thing? Or a car. So say you want to manifest a car. How's it going to feel when you get that car? It's anything that you want. If you want to go on vacation, how's it going to feel when you go on vacation? The universe speaks in energy. It doesn't speak in words or actions. It's energy. And that's why we're doing what we're doing right now, is to raise our vibration, because you want to raise your vibration to match that thing that you want. So this is why we look at our needs as far as like what it is we need to be happy. What is it that we need to stay joyful and peaceful? Like, what do we need? So for me, what I needed was respect in my house. You know, I needed my kids to know that, okay, if mom has the door shut, same thing with David too, was respect. And that may seem like a thing that is just there, but it's not. You guys know. And so I needed that. And so to write all that stuff down, and then also I need a couple days off. Some people say you should work a 9 to 5. Like, you know, there's some people that work a 9 to 5, and well, you know what? I don't, because I don't want to. And I swear, I'd rather be a freelancer and make my own money than work a 9 to 5 ever again, because of that's what I want. That's what I need. I do not do my best work when I'm in an office. I just don't. I just don't do it. Now I like to help people and I'll work in an office, but that's just my needs. That's a need. And what my mom would say, or my dad, I can hear him saying it. Well, so-and-so does that. They work 9 to 5. So, you know, that's how parents are. Well, this person does it, so you should be able to do it. Or, oh, well, when I was your age, well, that's when you were your age. You know, it's separating between what that person did, because I get it from Avon's grandma too, a lot too, where she's like, well, when I had to do this when I was a single mom, and I had to do this. And I'm sure you guys know what I mean. There's people that say that, like, oh, well, you should be this way. No, you shouldn't. And so that is why getting so clear on what it is you need, and knowing that it's okay. It's okay if you don't want to work a 9 to 5. It's okay if you want to take a nap at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, just to reset. It's okay if you don't take your kid, you know, or whatever. It's okay. Whatever it is you want to do, it's okay. That's just what I want to stress, is like, people think that, or people want to tell other people how to live their life all the time. And it's like, no. So get clear on what you need. So sorry, I'm going off course here. So 3 is like, what beliefs, habits, and characteristics, who do you need to become in order to receive what you want? 4, how are you holding yourself back? What beliefs and habits are holding you back? So like yesterday, Megan, when we were talking about, because you said you want to get a job, but you have this block. Okay. So that's perfect. This is like a perfect. So the goal is to get a job with her degree. So feel the feeling is, how will you feel when you get that? When you finally have that job you went to school for 4 years for, how are you going to feel? You know, and what are you going to see when you get there? What are you going to hear? Your 5 senses when you get to that thing you want. Like, and so we can do, I can do a meditation for you with that, but just to get into that feeling of that's going to help you get that job even quicker. This will. So then 3, the beliefs, habits, and like what you need to become in order to receive what you want. So like, when you do get that job, how are you going to show up? And you're, as a mom, as you know, I know that can get overwhelming when you start to think about it. So let's not think too much about it. But so 4, how are you holding yourself back? So yesterday we did that limiting belief exercise. So that was what was happening. And then 5, why is it Oh, I love this question. Why is it important to you? So your why. Think about that. What is your why? Why do you want what you want? Why do you do what you do? What won't change if you don't reach that goal? So same thing like what I asked Megan yesterday, like what will stay the same if you don't do something about it? And then 6 is, where is a version of this already showing up in your life? I love this, is because we all already have a version of everything we want in our life, just not to the extent of what we want it. So Megan, you've been studying to be in HR for 4 years. And so that was that's a version of what you're wanting, right? But it's just not, yeah. So that is like the manifestation process. When you want something, when you set a goal and you really want to reach that goal, this is the process to follow over and over and over. Just like these 6 steps. If you ever, same thing like Heather with you, with all the stuff you're doing, okay, with the classes and everything, like this would be, and Heather is just like knocked out. Like I can't, I love her story. I love yours. I just love where you're at, right? Like, I don't know. I just love it so much. But yes, follow these 6 steps when you guys, to what you do want in your life. Because again, what I wrote on here was, when we know our needs, when we know what we want, then we don't listen to other people as much. When you have a clear view of, I know what I want to do with my life, I know what I'm here to do, which is where you guys are going. You're finding out what your path is, like literally right now in this retreat. Once you know where you're going, everything else, like why I said you could lay down your expectations, is because people are not going to have that big of an effect on you anymore. Not effect, but influence is what I should say. That's how it was with me. My example is when my son used to tell me, this is back when I was fired from Syndicate, and I made the decision that I'm not going to work for anyone. I'm going to be a VA. I'm going to build websites. And I would be on my computer all the time. And my son would be like, you're sitting on your ass all the time. And David would be like, you're on your ass all the time. And they would just talk crap to me because I need to get a real job. Okay. So what I did though, was I sat here and was like, that's nice. Okay. And I kept going. I did not one time second guess what I was doing, because I knew what I was doing. They didn't understand what I was doing. So I couldn't be mad at them for saying that. Heck, I probably would have said it too if I didn't know what I was doing. But that is what I mean. When you get this focused on what you're here to do, who you are. Okay. So that's why, like yesterday, we really talked more about the beliefs, because that's really what the beliefs are. What do you believe about yourself? Which is what the homework was last night. Like, what do you believe about yourself? Do you who are you? Who are you? Because, and there's no wrong answer either. Like, I was going to post this in the group, like, there's no one grading this. There's nobody judging this. There's nobody that's going to be looking at your papers. Like, but really seriously put thought to this, because not a lot of people do. And when you're aware of what's happening, you're raising your level of consciousness. Like, you're following that path of your purpose. That's what it is. Like, God placed you here for a reason. And so now I'm just trying to help you guys figure it out what it is. So that's what we're doing here. Okay. So do you guys understand that about, which I know you guys probably know some of this already. But do you have any questions about that as far as like anything at all? Hold on. Just let me know if you do have any questions. So as mothers, okay, this could start. Okay. And then I did say, I was talking about, for some, it might be a way to stay busy. So for us to take care of others before we take care of ourselves, there's always a reason, like there's a reason behind it. Why do we do it? Like, we're never doing it just, well, we're going to do it because we love our kids and they're our responsibility. But then we neglect ourselves. Sarah, actually, Sarah is working out right now, but up until a couple months ago, nope, she was not. Nope. She was like all about everyone else. Oh, there you are. Hi.
Hi.
You turned your video on. Oh my gosh.
For 2 seconds.
No. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. This is like the best time.
I'm real. Back to work.
What? Did you say back to work? Just went back to work. Okay. Anyway, that's like never happened, you guys. It's like a moment in time that Sarah just turned on her video. So, okay. Now moving on from the wants. Now we talked about the needs, just kind of get clear on your needs. And one thing, that lack of self-care, what do you need? So yeah, in your romantic relationships, marriage, blah, all that stuff. Okay. What is it that you need? Like, think about the times when you get mad about stuff. When your spouse does something, like, what is it they're not doing? But at the end of the day, it's not their job to make us happy. It's not their job to make us feel loved. It's not their job to accept us. It comes to us. And this is why I ask these questions, because I was going to say, your needs of other people are the needs that you need from yourself. Your expectations of other people are your expectations for yourself. You may not realize that. Now you might, since I just said that, but exactly, like when you judge other people, it's because there's an insecurity there. There's something going on there. If you, again, expectations. So like a big one that's coming in for me right now is with friendships, because that's just something that's been a big deal in my life, is that I see women struggle with their expectations in friendships. Like bad. I've actually lost a couple friends recently because of this, to where they needed something from me that I could not give them. And that was my time. I couldn't give it to them more than what I was. And they were mad about that. And we got into it. And that's the end of that. We don't talk anymore, because I wasn't going to feel guilty for not doing something the way someone else wanted me to do, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what we do. When somebody does not respond to us in the way we want them to, that is expecting something that's trying to not control, but you're expecting someone to be different than what they are. And then we make them feel guilty for it. We make them feel guilty for being that way, or they tried to make me feel guilty for being that way. And I would have 4 years ago, I would have felt horrible, and I would have tried making it up to them all the time. But now I am who I am, and I'm not gonna be a different way. I mean, if you can't accept me for who I am, then I love you, but we're just not meant to be friends, So that's where I'm at now. But I wasn't like that. And I also, with expectations, another reason why you set them down is because we get disappointed when we have high expectations of any expectations, and then people don't return that, because we were grown up, we were raised this way, right? Treat others as you expect to be treat others how you would want to be treated. And so that's what is stuck in our brains. It's like, okay, when we treat people a certain way, they better treat us that way back, or else shame on them. They're in trouble, that's basically what would happen. The problem with that is that is why your vibe goes down. It lowers your vibe. When you get disappointed, that's low vibrating. Okay. So when we don't want to be there, that's somebody messing up your flow. You're allowing somebody power over you with that, like that's what it is. When you hold expectations of other people, if they disappoint you, you are giving them power. It's like handing them your power. Like, here you go, mess up my day if you want by not doing something that I want you to do. Now, we don't do this on a conscious level. This is we're doing this unconsciously, because this is the way we've always been. It's just human nature. But once you can lay those down and set boundaries. So like my rule is when I set an expectation down, I create a boundary, because a healthy boundary to where if that person, so let's say that I'm dating, or let's say that I'm dating somebody. Well, I am dating, but say that I'm in the dating world or whatever. And I have these expectations. I mean, it's a little different when you're in the dating world, because you have standards. Standards are different than expectations. And so in the dating world, when you can have standards, because I have a friend right now who's dating, and she has some standards, and that guides her decisions. She knows clearly what she wants and what she doesn't want. And so she knows she knows when to say yes and when to say no. And so that's the same thing, but having expectations, now that I'm talking about it, you guys, I can't even think of a reason to have them. There's just no reason to have expectations. You treat people with love and kindness, and the way you treat someone says more about who you are than that person. It doesn't matter. We can be like, for me, I treat everybody the same with no expectation of getting something in return. And if I don't get that in return, oh, well, I still love them, right? I still love them and I'm still here. But, but that is also information moving forward. I'll know not to do that again. I'll know not to go out of my way, right? To do that, whatever that thing was. Now in the future, I know, okay, well, Sally doesn't, or, you know, when I do that for Sally, she doesn't return it. Okay, I still love her, but I'm not going to put as much into that anymore. I mean, if that's something you can do until you get comfortable with this process, is just kind of like take it as information and be like, all right, I know now. You become aware of how when people respond to you in a certain way that isn't the way you want them to. You just become aware. And then also remember that everyone's going through their own stuff, and the way someone responds to you has nothing to do with you. That's another thing too. Like, it just doesn't. And so that right there will help you guys stay high vibe more throughout your day than anything. I'm trying to think of another tip I can give as far as not setting expectations, because I know it's kind of taboo for some people, especially if they've like, why wouldn't we set expectations? Because you have to have expectations for some things. And no, you really freaking don't. You can have intentions, you can have standards, and you can set boundaries, but you don't have to expect anything out of it. And that's also detaching from the outcome. When you set a goal, okay, so this is another thing, like when you set a goal, you detach from the outcome. Like for me, yeah, I set some goals for this retreat of how many people I wanted in it, but I didn't attach to the outcome. All I did was set it, and then I did the work. I did the marketing. I did whatever I could do to the best of my ability with the resources I had, and I got the number that I got. And now I can go back and see, okay, what needs to change to help me get closer to that number the next time. But it doesn't define who I am as a woman. That number with the retreat does not define me as a person. And so that's what you do when you detach, is you don't allow whatever that person is, not returning, or that, don't make it mean anything about you. It doesn't, if that person doesn't treat you the same way back, it means nothing bad about you. I know this is a hard thing for people to do, especially at first, and to detach from situations and things and people. And they even say to practice it with your family, to detach from with love, of course. Detaching is not the same as disconnecting. Disconnecting is different. Disconnecting is being numb and no emotion, but detaching is actually a boundary. It's creating this boundary. And it's also you saying that I don't need anything outside of myself to be whole and complete, just like what I said yesterday. You are all whole and complete the way that you are. And so anyway, that is what, when it comes to expectations, that's what I mean with that, as far as not having them anymore. And I know that it's going to be, I want to help you guys do this, because this is going to help you so much when you just show up in your life and do what you want to do without trying to get any type of recognition or validation from anyone. And I know that it's going to take some more inner work to get to that point, but let me know how you guys are like feeling with that. Like, what are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts on that, Jess or Sarah or Heather? I don't even know if Sarah's still on here. No, you don't. Okay. Megan, do you? Right now, anyway. I know they'll come later. My challenge for you guys is the next time that you think about the people in your life right now, and I think pretty much all of you are pretty chill. You're pretty chill, like women, as far as level-headed. And so, but the next time that you have a thing to do, so like Heather, maybe it's with the meetings that you're going to or whatever, I don't know, some goal that you guys have, detach from the outcome and just show up anyway for whatever it is. So like with you for your interviews and stuff, just show up being who you are and doing what you can, instead of trying to, because that's what I was doing today. Today I got in my head. I don't do this all the time, trust me. detaching from the outcome, it happens most of the time, but I get in my head and I get stuck. I get stuck because I'm attached to this thing. And my thing is that I want to help you guys reach a certain like understanding. And I'm just like, I want them to understand this because this is like such a game changer. And so I was stuck in my head and I had to go outside and I'd take some deep breaths and I had to just put it all away and stop looking at it because I was too attached to the end. Instead of just showing up and sharing what I know, I was like wanting it to be a certain way. There you are again, Sarah. Do you have something to say? She's probably not even listening to me. Okay, so anyway, let's move on. What time is it right now, actually? Let me see what time it is. 7:47. Okay, so now that you know your needs and wants, so I'm pretty sure that you guys probably have an idea of what your need. I mean, you guys aren't really needy. Women are on here or not. I know you guys aren't really needy. You just need your basic stuff and you can be happy, which gives you a stronger sense of self, and it's time to set boundaries. So setting boundaries, that was the next thing. So I didn't even know what a boundary was before. I don't know what you guys think about boundaries, but if you want to share some thoughts on them, like how are you guys with boundaries? Do you allow people to like walk all over you, or like how it has been your history with boundaries? I never even knew they existed until like 5 years ago. I was not raised with boundaries. We did when people asked us to do something, we did it. But if we didn't, we were mean. We were considered to be mean. My mom would be like, oh, you're so mean if you don't do that for your sister, or what. That was what I was. I was the bitch sister because I said no sometimes. But that wasn't mean, but I didn't know that. That was my belief. That was a belief that I was raised with, that you say yes, you help your friends, your family especially, and you don't bitch about it. That was my thing. But then also I was very codependent in relationships. There were no boundaries, none. I didn't, and that was it was toxic all around in all my relationships because I did not know where my emotions stopped and theirs started. There was no line drawn there. Our emotions were so intertwined, and also respecting each other as having other friends, our individuality. I mean, I remember when Daniel would all of that. It's hard to do that. But when you start to set boundaries, when you set your expectations down and you set boundaries and you start saying no, Sarah, I think you said this was something you had a hard time doing, was saying no. Because it used to be for me too. Yes, just say no. Because then after you say no and you're like, damn it, or if you say yes, like, I wish I would have said no. And then you resent it and you regret it the whole time and you're in low vibes. And so the next time somebody asks you to do something and you really don't want to do it, don't come up with an excuse. Don't say, oh, I have to do this. This is one thing that I noticed that David does it and I used to do it. I'd lie and say, oh, I have to go do something. No, just tell them, I just don't want to do it. And just be honest. That's what I started doing. And some people were like, oh, well, okay. And some, I just stopped lying to people. That was another thing. I used to lie a lot. I used to lie because I wanted people to, I didn't want to like upset anyone. I would tell people what they wanted to hear. I did that all the time. And then I would be in lies upon lie upon lie. And they just, they keep going. And the day that I stopped lying, I mean, even the little white lies, it was like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. It takes so much energy and it's because I was a people pleaser. I was trying to please everybody. And so, and that was exactly it. So anyway, if that's you, please let me know how this is sounding to you because I'm curious. Is it sounding crazy?
It was a couple years ago, but no.
Yeah.
No.
Sarah, do you have any thoughts on this? No, you don't? She said no. Heather, you don't either? Okay, all right. So let's move on then. Let's go ahead and get into I want to do a new moon thing, we're going to bring the new moon into our meditation, and a new moon is for new beginnings. And it's for starting new projects, it's for starting whatever, just something new. The energy is for setting intentions, and then also for letting go of whatever you need to let go of, whatever you know, over the last 2 weeks. Like, that's what I do. Sometimes I let go of stuff, and sometimes which I'm going to set intentions this time, but like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm trying to find this one thing, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about, which I'll post some, like, an exercise with these expectations and setting boundaries. The only way you can practice this stuff is with your life, in your everyday life. Like tomorrow, when something starts to come up, even in your relationship, like with my relationship with David, you guys all know, every one of you here know very, very well about our story. And so with him being how he is, and the boundaries that I've set, it's been like the most eye-opening thing. Like, and it actually is working now. It works. Like, Megan's here, and it's like, it works. When you just tell somebody what you want and what you won't put up with, they'll either listen to it and they will respect it, or they won't and they'll go away. That's what happens. So, okay. So let's go ahead, we already lit our candle. If you have any crystals, get a couple crystals. I'm actually going to use, I'm going to use green aventurine is one I'm going to use right here. And then I'm going to use, what's the other one? I'm going to use my amethyst. I'm going to do the amethyst. And let me look in here real quick, because there's something too I wanted to, we're actually going to do a goddess meditation tomorrow. And I might be having another coach might come in and talk about some stuff. So let's see here. Sorry. Call with the goddess. I didn't want to do that. Okay, so go ahead and just grab those. And then what is an intention you want to set for the next couple weeks? Like, just write it down or whatever, like something you're going to work on over the next couple weeks. I know what I am, because I just got a membership at Planet Fitness today. So David and I are going to, yes, Heather, I meant to tell you. So now I can go with you. It was awesome. The one in Logan, like, is awesome. I'll come to Planet Fitness because Heather goes there. But I want to try the one in Logan. It's amazing. I can't wait to go. We just had a tour today, but that is mine for the next 2 weeks. I want to go to the gym. So yay, I'm so excited. So that's my intention. And also to feel more balanced with my sorry, what am I saying? With my working out, with my schedule, with my having a set schedule. That's my intention, is to do it the same time every other day. I'm going to do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Is that when you do it, Heather? When do you go? Do you go Monday, or do you go Wednesday and Friday? Yeah. Okay. That's what okay.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
And do you go in the morning, right? Don't you go in the
Yeah.
morning? Okay. All right. So that's what I'll do. All right. Go ahead and close your eyes. My nose is all stuffy now for some reason. And we're going to just do, it's going to be a meditation with the new moon, but also clearing our chakras. Today we're going to do, go up through the root. I'm going to do some more on the sacral, then up to the solar plexus, and then we'll just clear out the other ones. But the sacral and the solar plexus is where I'm going to like stay for a little bit longer. So go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. And if you have a crystal, you can hold it in your hand, or however you want to do, which I'm going to hold mine. And then from the top of your head, we're just going to imagine this golden light, like this golden shower of light begins to pour into your crown chakra and all around you. So you just begin to be in this like a cloud, like a mist is what I see of this golden light. And it's actually like it's the moon energy. And so it goes in the crown chakra. And everywhere that it goes down to your third eye, down to your throat, down to your heart, and it's relaxing your body as it goes down these chakras. It's just moving down them. It's not doing much in them yet. It's just moving down them. And so into your heart chakra, you relax your arms, goes down to your solar plexus, to your sacral. Relax your stomach muscles and your back. Let go of your expectations of how this is supposed to go. Goes down to your thighs, to your root chakra, to your thighs, to your knees, to your calves. And then imagine tree roots coming out of the bottom of your feet, going into the earth, and the boulders in the middle of the earth. And these roots go down to the middle of the earth and wrap around the boulder. And then as you come back up, just imagine that you're bringing up that earth energy, and it goes into the root chakra. And we're going to use yellow light this time. This is to provide clarity. Yellow is for clarity. So as you breathe in, this energy from the earth moves into your root chakra, clearing, balancing, aligning your root chakra, then going into your sacral. Visualize that orange ball of light at your pubic bone or 2 inches below your belly button, and place your hand right there as well. Your ovaries is where this is connected. It's connected to the sexual organs. And take a deep breath in as you do this. And when you breathe in, imagine that orange ball of light gets brighter. And you exhale and it expands and becomes, it's like a wheel. Chakra means wheel. And it begins to rotate. And this is where your shame lies. So any shame that you felt, disappointments from the past, any sexual trauma, any shame around sex, all of that is in the sacral chakra, and it's clearing out now. It's releasing. It's time to release that. And so just imagine this orange light. It moves back and forth in that chakra, clearing that energy and unblocking that energy of all the years that you have felt shameful around not being good enough or making the choices you made that you thought were the right ones, but everyone else thought they were the wrong ones. And so they shamed you for it. You were only doing the best that you could with what you had. So it's time to let that go and forgive yourself. And even if you just kind of like tap on this part of your body, so 2 inches below your belly button, and just tap on that chakra, like it's waking it up to take you to new levels of creativity, to new levels of sexuality, new levels of pleasure, new levels of setting boundaries is in this chakra. And so you're setting stronger boundaries with yourself. It starts with yourself. All setting boundaries starts with yourself. Where are you going to set boundaries for you in your life, in your day? Where do you tend to get lost in the moment, doing little like mundane tasks or non-important tasks that you end up spending hours on, like on social media? Set that boundary right there, and that starts, you start to the closest person to you when you start to set boundaries. So it starts with you, and then to your family, and then to your friends. And so make that choice right now that you'll start to set boundaries in your life. So that orange light, breathe in again. When you exhale, just imagine all the stale, stuck energy going out into the universe and transmutes into positive energy. Moving up to the solar plexus now. So this yellow light that came from the earth is going up through the root to the sacral, now to the solar plexus. And this is yellow. Think of like a sun right here. And it's 2 inches above your belly button. This is where your self-confidence lies. doubt blocks this chakra. So anytime you doubt your ability to do something, or your lack of motivation to to work on a project or work at work, even if you're just not motivated, it's because you're not listening to what lights you up. You've lost your zest for life. That would be in this chakra too. If you're not excited anymore, that would be down in the sacral, and then the solar plexus is like the fuel that you'll need once you get that spark. And so these two chakras work hand in hand, which is why we're working on them one after another. And I'm actually working on both of them. And so just imagine that yellow light at your solar plexus. When you breathe in, it gets brighter. When you exhale, it begins to turn and get bigger. And it's clearing, balancing, and aligning out all of that lack of self-confidence. This being in balance is going to help you reach higher levels of confidence, higher levels of motivation, higher levels of willpower, higher levels of determination. And this will lead you to your purpose. So inhale again, and that light gets brighter, that yellow light right there, and just tap on that spot 2 inches above your belly button, and just tap on it. Because you're waking it up. It's time to start working to get into balance and alignment. And then breathe in, and that light gets brighter. When you exhale, all of the stale, stuck energy. We're going to move up to the heart chakra and just clearing, balancing, and aligning, moving up to the throat, clearing, balancing, and aligning, and going up to the third eye, clearing, balancing, and aligning, and going out the crown chakra. That yellow light goes up, transmutes to negative or to positive energy. And we're now going to pull down from the moon to balance the rest of our energies, to balance our masculine and feminine, to clear our aura. So just draw energy from the moon. And you can even just think of a light, like a light beaming down, a healing, white healing light coming from the moon. And use those energies to clear negative energies out of your aura, out of your energetic space, to cut off all cords that you feel are attached to you, anyone who's trying to drain your energy, any situations that are dragging you down, anything that is disappointing you, anything that you have expectations with, cut those off now. And we can call in Archangel Michael to cut that cord from you, to heal that spot on you where your cord, where the energetic cord was, and then healing the other person, sending love and healing to them as well. And then I want you to think of one intention that you're going to keep in your mind for the rest of the 2 weeks until the full moon. What's one thing you're going to work on? What's one thing that you're going to have motivation with? You're going to use that extra balance and clarity in your solar plexus to help you reach that goal or reach that intention. Just think about that. What is it that's not happening right now in your life that you want to be happening? And then also take time to be grateful for what you do have. Appreciate what's going on in your life right now, the people in it, the people that help you have a better day. Appreciate them and show them that you appreciate them tonight. Tell them, like, speak it verbally. I appreciate you in my life. Because when you are appreciative and you're grateful, you'll get more of that in your life. So take a deep breath in. Imagine that bubble of protection goes over your head, under your feet. Nothing but love can go out, and nothing but love can come in, and no one can attach to your energy. You're cleared, balanced, and aligned. All of your chakras are in perfect alignment. Your masculine and feminine energies are in alignment. Your aura is clear. And when you're ready, rub your hands together and place them over your eyes. Open your eyes. And there you go. So how are you? My nose. Yes, my nose is like all clogged. So let me know what you guys are thinking. I know right now, because it's like what, 8 o'clock now, past 8 probably. Okay, I didn't do too bad. All right. This book right here is what I'm gonna read out of this tomorrow. It's the You Are a Goddess. I want to do a book study so bad with this. There is actually like, I'm excited to bring all this in. Let me know how you guys feel about the goddesses, or what your thoughts are, or what, but just to connect to our feminine energy is, I love it. And last night after we did this, after I did the clearing last night, and the reason why I'm only focusing on certain chakras at one time is because of what we're talking about. Like, and also for you guys to know, to retain the information of like, okay, this chakra goes with this, and that's what I'm going to work on. And again, it's subtle energies. These are subtle energy systems. They're not something that you clear and balance with your mind and all of that, and then the next day you're like, your life is different. No, it's just consistency. Like it will change your life. Like it will change your life just to become aware of what's going on with your body, like really going on, not from a doctor's perspective, not from that, not on a medical perspective. I mean, like, and Heather could be the one to tell you about that. But yeah, I can't wait to do work with her with all of that, because they're like, she's awesome. So, but anyway, let me know however you guys feel, like if that helps just to relax. You don't have to know what I'm doing. It's just to relax and just be. It's just to be. That's it. You're not having to do anything. You're just being, and we don't do that ever. And so it's your mind, especially after a busy day. So all right, if you guys don't have any questions, I'll go ahead and get off of here. Tomorrow we're going to talk about self-love. Is going to be is just loving on yourself with a practice that weaves into your life. And also Izzy's going to be on at like 7:45. She's going to come on and teach a meditation that she does. It's really simple. So if you want your kids to like come in and watch, that would be fine. But yeah, so she's excited about it because she loves to be on live. Wonder where she gets that from. So, all right, girls. Well, I love you. You guys have a good night, and thanks for hanging out with me. Okay, bye. How do I shut it off here? Hold on. I can't do it. Heather, can you get off here? Oh, wait, here, I got it. Okay, there we go.